and welcome to We Are Middlesex. I'm Logan, and I'm here to guide you on a road trip through Middlesex Center, right here in Middlesex County. On today's show, Julia meets with Al Edmondson, and Pauline learns about an inspiring newcomer's story to Canada. She will also find out what goes on at a Slovenian cultural club and a visit with the Country Spot restaurant in Poplar Hill. Later on, Pauline gets a cheese tasting by talking to the owners of Stonetown Cheeses and Devizes Cheeses Factory. So let's go.
Hello and welcome to the show today. I'm here with Mayor Al Edmondson of Middlesex Center. Thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Could you tell us a little bit about where Middlesex Center is located?
Yeah, we're all along the west side of London and across the north. We're part of a horseshoe, so to speak.
And can you tell us what services residents have access to in Middlesex Center?
We got, in terms of recreation, we have an abundance of recreational opportunities, conservation areas, parks, rivers, ponds, fishing, medical. We're close to the hospitals in London. We also have close to the hospitals in Strathroy, Caradoc, and yeah, it's a great place to be able to live, and the environment is very friendly.
And what in the community would attract newcomers to Canada?
To Canada, I think just the very fact that the friendliness of the people, being able to, we have to get our housing in order so that we can attract people that way, but the people that come here, and as you'll probably experience today, are very, very happy to come from another country to this particular area.
Mm-hmm. What attractions and events do people in Middlesex Center have access to?
Oh, we got one of the 150-year-old fair in Aldrich. We have races. We used to have canoe races, and that's coming back, I think. And yeah, we got baseball, we got soccer, curling, championships. We got champion figure skaters, and we're likely going to have some more champion figure skaters. We have one of the most fantastic mills, just old mills in all of Canada. It's the oldest working mill in Canada and possibly in North America, and that's in Arva.
Wow, very interesting. Thank you so much for being with us today, Al.
Thank you for being here.
I'm standing outside the municipal offices in Middlesex Center, where we're going to meet Christian Tham and hear about his journey from South Africa to Canada. Hi Christian, how are you?
Yes, Pauline, very well.
Great.
Beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day, and we're standing outside the Middlesex Center Municipal Building.
Right.
And this is where you were. And what is your role here?
Well, I work in a role called Embedded Energy Manager, and what that means is that we help, businesses, industry, and residential folks to save energy. Oh. So I go out to them and I introduce what is called a Save on Energy program to them, and they participate in those programs. I apply for incentives from Hydro One, then they will apply the recommendations I make to them. They save on energy and reduce their hydro bills.
So before you came to Middlesex County, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background.
Well, I'm a native of Ghana, in West Africa. I moved to South Africa in my early 20s and lived there, worked there for a while. Then in 2010, I moved to Canada. Whilst in South Africa, I worked as an environmental planner. And what that means is that ensure that developments that take place, does not impact on the environment, in a negative way. So that's what I did for about 8 years. Then I moved to Canada in 2010.
And what motivated you to move to Canada?
Wow, that's a very good question. It was in 2008. I happened to be at the United Nations, and I was part of a discussion on climate change and sustainability, the roles that indicators will play in that regard. It was a 3-day, conversation we had at the United Nations with other countries that were there. And after my trip to the UN, of course, the very first time to North America, I just felt a desire to move to this part of the world. So when I went back to South Africa, my mind was made. I said, hey, I'm going back. I'm going to North America to work. I love the work that they were doing at the UN. So my first choice was, of course, either the UN or somewhere in the US. But then that took a bit of time in coming due to migration process. The previous government, through there was a program they had called Fast Track Immigration for skills migrants to come into Canada. So I applied in less than a year. I got my permanent resident and came with my family, my wife and 2 kids.
And what services did you access when you first came to the London and Middlesex County area?
Well, the London, Middlesex, our story is a unique one because we didn't know anyone per se. I mean, in 2008, I wanted to do a PhD program at Western. So when I got my permanent resident, the very first place I could think of was, London, Ontario. So we came to London, living in the guest house. So the services we assessed, of course, was going to cross-cultural that, hey, we knew. And it was a great benefit because it immediately helped us find a suitable accommodation and not paying like $100 to over $200 a day for our accommodation, but of course renting a place to live. So that was good. Then with time also went to employment training, which was great, helped just letting us know what the job market is out there and how to behave, work culture in the country, how it's all going to be about. So that has been good. And that was close to 6 years now. Some of the skills I learned at was when I got to the municipality, it came handy. Things to expect in the workplace, a different work culture that exists, and what to say, what not to say, not being polite, and those things were helpful.
So moving to any country, there can be some challenges.
Right.
Can you explain some of the challenges that you may have, had and how you overcame them?
Well, I think from a professional point of view, the first challenge was trying to find a job. Here you are, you've been working as an environmental planner, and suddenly you find yourself in a country and you have to look for a job. And find a job in my area of expertise was something that was quite a challenge. Nothing was forthcoming. Ended up doing what they call survival jobs, just something just to keep you going. But the only way I overcame it was to go back to school. Earlier when I said I had a PhD program that I wanted to do at Western, but 4 years was too much. I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. So I saw this 1 year master's program in environment and sustainability that kind of fell in line with my previous training. So I did that 1 year program in Masters in Sustainability. And of course, that's what brought me to the municipality.
So thinking about your journey, what advice would you give to anybody thinking about moving to Canada, London, Middlesex County for work and to live?
Well, for work and to live, it's a great place to be. People are accommodating, people are friendly, people are welcoming. You don't feel a stranger, so to say. You feel welcome to be here. But the first advice I'll give is if you find yourself in a situation I found myself, which was a survival job, don't stay there for life. Take it as a temporary situation. Work yourself out. If you do not do that, Canada is missing out on you in terms of the skills and the talent you've got to offer to this new country you've come to. And also, your native country is also missing out on you because you left and there's a spot wherever you have come from, and that spot has not been filled. And they are missing out on the talents and the skills. So identify an area of interest and pursue a training. It could be a trade school you will go, it could be a community college, it could be university, whichever. Do a training in that area, and after you've done the training in that area, doors of opportunity will open for you to find yourself in a place where you can call work and be fulfilled working.
Thank you so much. Those words are very inspirational, and thank you so much for joining us on our show today.
Oh, great show! And I'd say it's a good program you guys are doing, so keep it up, and we hope our message will inspire somebody to get out from wherever they are as a newcomer and do something to benefit this country.
I'm sure it will. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
We're here in Middlesex Centre at the Slovenian Club on Charlton Drive, where we're going to meet with Anthony Sekli. So here we are in the Slovenian Club, and so tell me a little bit about your background.
Well, I was born in London and raised in London, and I went to school in London. For the past 26 years, I've been working in the automotive industry in production as well as tooling in engineering. Both my parents immigrated here in the late 50s.
And they came from Slovenia. Which part of Slovenia did they come from?
Well, we call it Primorska region, which is the furthest west region,
Okay.
which has the mountains as well as the sea.
So Anthony, why did your parents move from Slovenia to Canada?
Well, my parents moved in the late 50s, and like many others, in hopes of raising a family in a more positive environment with more opportunities. Slovenia at the time was part of the former Yugoslavia, which at that time was under communist rule. They actually did settle in London.
Okay.
Correct.
And do they access the community, the club here?
They do,
Yes.
along with many others, and again in hopes to help each other out, help learn about life in this country, and in particular this region.
And tell me a little bit about the club and why is it important for the Slovenian community to have this available?
Well, the club started to fill the need to have a gathering place for all Slovenians and in hopes to help each other out. It helped in the transition with life in a new country for them.
So it's benefited newcomers that have wanted to settle in Middlesex County in London to have a place where they can come and gather and integrate with people from their own country.
It has, and again, because they came here with little to no language skills, and they're not familiar with the area or the country. So again, they were helping each other out and working in the community mostly.
Now I see a lot of picnic tables outside and there's a lot of land. So what kind of events would you host here?
Well, events that we typically host, we have an annual spring festival celebrating a certain region in Slovenia. We have an annual spring banquet. We have numerous of picnics, the reason why we have the picnic tables during the warmer months. We have an annual fall grape harvest banquet celebrating the grape harvest, which turns into wine, which is of course worthy of celebrating. And we have, of course, Mother's Day and Father's Day celebrations, a golf tournament in the fall, and New Year's Eve celebrations as well.
When was it founded? When did it open?
It actually opened in 1959. It started out being a smaller club in London, right in London on Hamilton Road, but it was a small club and people were still coming over here at the time, and basically outgrew the club. And they wanted to also hold picnics as well as the usual events indoors, hence why we came out to Middlesex County to find a bigger location where we can have events indoors as well as use the grounds for picnics and other events.
And Middlesex Centre, has there been a lot of support there for you with regards to setting this up and being part of the community?
Yeah, they're actually a big help in setting this up and helping us find out, the do's and don'ts of setting up a non-for-profit organization. We're actually part of the Strathroy Chamber of Commerce as well, and that's always a good tool to help reach out to the community.
That's great. Thank you. Well, thanks very much, Anthony. This has been great, and I look forward to coming to one of the events. We're outside of Country Spot Restaurant in Poplar Hill, where we're going to meet Erica and her family and hopefully learn how to make sushi. Hi Erica, and thanks for inviting us to Country Spot Restaurant here in Poplar Hill. How are you?
Good, are you?
Good. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your family and your background and how Country Spot got started.
Well, we are from South Korea. We came here when I was 9 years old, so it's been about 9 to 8 years. We originally landed in Winnipeg and then lived there for 1.5 years, and we moved to London. We had a restaurant in London for about 6.5 years. It was a Korean and Japanese restaurant, and then we closed down, and then we moved to Middlesex County and we opened up the Country Spot restaurant.
So what was it about Middlesex County that motivated you to move from London to start a restaurant here?
Well, we were looking for a place to move out of city, actually. We were looking for a different place to move in. We never thought of coming to Middlesex County at first. My dad was looking for a new place, and while he was looking to different city, different areas, he found out that there was a place where it was house and a business together. That's what brought our attention the most. So after that, we started we decided to come to Middlesex County.
Was there any sort of specific community partner that supported and helped you along the way, when you moved to Middlesex County?
After we started our business, the mayor of the Middlesex County started coming in for his lunch. He had friends, the customers that come in every day were his friends. He came in here and gave us some information. And mostly the municipal office down the street over here, they helped us with like answering a lot of questions for about like garbage day or any type of information. So
municipal services.
Yes.
Great, good. So Erica, is there anything else you'd like to share about your restaurant? Where is it located?
It is located in Poplar Hill, Ontario. We are actually, it is 5209 Egremont Drive. We fall under Aldrich actually. It's just that there is a city, Poplar Hill, bigger than here, so we actually fall under Aldrich. But
okay, great. Now you mentioned sushi, and so what I'd like to do, is there any chance that I could come and make some sushi?
yeah, go ahead.
Great, thank you. So here we are in the kitchen of the Country Spot restaurant, and I'm with Logan, Erica's brother, and I'm going to attempt to make sushi, but he's going to do it professionally. And so let's start with our ingredients, and we've got rice. Now what kind of rice is this?
We use callus rice, and we actually marinate with the special vinegar that we make our own.
Okay, great.
We're making California roll today.
Perfect. So we've got some
Crab sticks.
crab,
Cucumber.
and avocado. Great. So let's get started.
All right. So normally what I do is take some of the rice, like this amount of
That
portion,
much. Okay.
and kind of dip it.
Dip it. Okay.
All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
So just spread it out. So just turn it over.
Turn it over.
I'll cut the avocado for you.
Thank you.
Just cut it in half. Place them in there.
All right. Now, is this a traditional sort of sushi, or I mean, there's many, I know.
Yes, there is many. Actual traditional like sushi isn't this fancy.
Yes.
They normally just use like raw fish and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So just do that.
All right.
And
Great.
I'll cut this for you too. So this is the hard part. So what do?
Yep.
Put them down a little bit towards the end.
Yep. Okay.
All right. So you're gonna roll it with the roller.
Yes.
So hold that,
Yep.
and you gotta cover all that so it doesn't sneak out.
Yep.
There you go. Roll it over, and just put it tight a little bit, and just kind of push everything in. And if you see that, you see all those ingredients rolled in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So just do the same thing over.
Okay.
Just like roll it. There you go.
Okay.
And do the same thing.
Push it back.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
kind of squish it. So you see all the rice on the side, right? So kind of just pull it over and kind of push them in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it?
Yes. And then just need to all to cut it. So we just cut it
Okay.
in half.
Yes.
And we cut it in another half here. And another one. And another one here. And there you go. That's a California roll right there. You want to give it a try?
Yes. So I cut it in half.
There you go.
That's wonderful.
All right.
That's great. Thank you so much. Now I
Thank
think we
you.
should check. I'm going to try one.
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to take a little one because mine are way too big. Love it. Then what would you do with that? Sorry?
So for that one, if I were going to plate them, just kind of gently pour it out and get all the water out. Just kind of like do that. All right.
Okay.
And we just use this for plating. So just like that, but it has to be a little longer,
Sure,
longer
sure.
plated with the all those wasabi and ginger stuff like that as well. Yeah.
That's lovely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
this
you
has
for
been
having
fun.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here at Devizes Cheese with Randy Aldrich. Welcome, Randy. How are you?
Not too bad, Pauline. How
Welcome
are
to
you?
the show. Good, good. So tell me a little bit about yourself and tell me a little bit about how you got into the cheese business.
Well, I've been here since 1973. My parents purchased it then. They formerly made cheese here, but they quit making cheese at that time. It used to be a co-op, but they sold out to Gailey and they took the milk quarter on us. And then we just kept selling the cheese here. So that's how basically I got into it. And in 1978, when I graduated from high school, we incorporated the business and I got involved being the shareholder then.
So it was originally a farmer's co-op?
Yes.
And how was that set up? Like,
back in them days, it was, you know, all the farmers in the community. See, they didn't take the milk far. They just everybody brought the farmers brought all the milk right here, all the local ones.
So they
And
had
then-
to utilize that.
In the late 60s, early 70s, everything changed. They went to the bulk milk tanks.
Right.
So that means the milk truck went into the farms and took the milk and then went to a distribution place.
Okay, great. Now, where does the name Devizes come from?
It originated from a town in England. Original building was in 1879 was built in Devizes. So a fellow from Devizes, England, started the little town down here, just down the road here.
Great.
Yep.
And now, what kind of products do you sell apart from cheese, of course?
Well, cheese is my main thing. It's always been my main, and we do have the smoked meat products. I don't get into the fresh meats, and then I have any of your dairy products. You got your milk, you got your sour creams, your yogurts.
So it's kind of like a little general store with different
It's more
products.
of a specialty store than it
great.
is.
Okay. Now, I'm sure you got some favorite cheeses, and I'm looking here, and are these some of your favorites here?
My favorites are my 9-year-old cheddar.
Oh,
which
lovely. Lovely.
Which we do age here.
Yes.
And then I have the curds, which are the most popular with a lot of people
great.
like the curds.
Yes.
And then I have a Gouda cheese, which is which I have a big Dutch
community here.
Oh, yes. So I do sell a lot of Dutch cheeses.
Right.
This is the mild one. And then I have a local goat's cheese, which comes up a Listowel way. And my favorite is this chili one.
This chili, and is it goat's cheese?
It's a goat's cheese.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I have the chives too.
So you do have some specialty cheeses
Yes, I
as
do.
well.
I have a lot of
great.
imported cheeses too.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And do you have any local cheese farms that come in, cheese makers, cheese farms that come in and sell?
Yes, I do. I have a new one that just started up, a Stonetown cheese.
Okay.
Just over by St. Mary's.
Right. Okay, great. So I'm ready to sample.
You're ready to
Okay,
sample.
I'm ready to sample. So,
Okay, well,
so we've
there's
got the cheese
the
curd.
cheese curds, yes.
Now, what would you put these cheese curds on?
If you had the white cheese curds, you probably do poutine with them.
Oh, okay.
But basically with curds, they just come in and they buy them just to snack on. Take them like a bag of potato chips.
Yeah, they are very,
Lot
very
healthier for you.
snackable.
Very,
Yeah.
very mild. The freshest cheese you're going to get.
And
then
this
you
is
have
the
goat's cheese.
goat's cheese
I have the
and-
chives, and then I have the chili.
Well, I got to try the chili because this is one of your favorites, right?
That's my favorite. Yeah.
And now we've got the
that's the
Gouda.
yeah,
This
the
is
mild
mild.
Gouda.
This is going to be a little different.
Yeah, this
too.
is my most popular one. This is what I sell the most of.
Oh, that is smooth. Great. Wow. Excuse me.
It's all right.
It's all this cheese. Well, thanks so much for telling us a little bit about Devizes cheese.
Not a problem.
And I think I might just continue sampling.
Oh, keep eating.
Thank you. So I'm here with Hans Weber from Stonetown Artisan Cheese. And how are you today?
Excellent. What about you?
Good, good. I'm surrounded by cheese, so it's always a good day when that happens. So tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, and let's get into Stonetown cheese.
Well, I'm a dairy farmer. We immigrated 20 years ago, 1996. We immigrated to Canada with my wife Yolanda and my 3 children, Stefan, Roland, and Rachel.
Okay, great.
We were always dairy farming, and it was always our dream to further process our milk on the farm.
Okay, so when you came over as a dairy farmer, did you have to hire a cheesemaker? When did you get into the cheese business?
We thought about it when our sons turned home from the university. They came home back to the farm, and they want to take over the cows. They're eager to farm, so we are not quite ready to retire, so we thought about that maybe an opportunity. So we hired a cheesemaker from Switzerland, a master cheesemaker, and he makes those Swiss-style cheeses on our farm, the traditional way, like they are made in Switzerland.
Okay, and does he have a history of cheese making?
He's a fourth generation cheesemakers from Switzerland, actually, and since he is out of school, so probably roughly 14 years.
Okay, great. So he knows about cheese.
Oh yeah, he knows it in and out. Yeah.
Is there anywhere else you sell your cheese?
Yeah, it's in the Covent Garden market, Smith's Cheese. They have it, and we're working on a lot of
Other places.
other places. Yes.
That's great.
So
Great.
we're fairly new. We started the business a year ago,
Yes.
and
Great. And it's going well.
it's going okay.
Good, great. So let's talk a little bit about your cheese. So you have, we've got 3 cheeses here. The one is Grand Trunk. So tell me, where did that name come from?
So Grand Trunk is our most firm cheese. It's like a Gruyere cheese. It's our oldest, most ripe cheese. So Grand Trunk, that's the railway who goes to St. Mary's, the old railway bridge there. And that's why we call it Grand Trunk.
Great. And the Homecoming?
Homecoming, that's a cheese, a really popular cheese out of the region. My wife and I grew up in Switzerland, and it makes us feel like home when we have this cheese.
Wonderful. And Wildwood?
Wildwood, we came up with this name. That was for us the toughest cheese to get on a consistent, the same cheese. So we that's why we call them Wildwood, and it's after our Wildwood Tham, who had his 50th anniversary last year. And we started last year, so we thought, well, that's maybe the name to go for.
That's great. So it would be great. Can we taste some of the cheeses?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Good. So what's the first one that we're going to
We
taste?
probably should taste Homecoming first. That's kind of our mildest cheese.
Okay, let's have a little bit of that.
This cheese really is perfect for raclette as well, for melting.
And then we've got the Grand Trunk, which you said this was a harder cheese?
It's the most firm cheese, like
Oh yeah.
a lot of people are familiar with Gruyere cheese.
Right. And why is it brown?
The rind, or the appearance from the rind, is dark because we smear it with wine yeast.
Right.
That's a byproduct when they make wine.
Okay.
And it tastes a little bit. It gives the cheese a different taste and,
Wonderful.
a nice look to the rind.
There's certainly a more of a Gruyere taste to that
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of a nuttier. And this last one is Wildwood.
It's Wildwood. It's an Appenzell style cheese.
It's kind of a mixture.
Yes. Yeah.
So in Middlesex Centre, they can come to Devizes Cheese and buy it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for telling us your story and
Thank you.
all about your cheese. Thank you.
It was my pleasure.
Wow, that's so cool. Who knew there was so much to experience in Middlesex Centre? I hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out all these awesome places next time you venture over to Middlesex Centre. I'm Logan. It was a pleasure being your guide today.